Hello, I'm Kika. Welcome to my channel. Today we are playing Kika Voices. Previously, we decided to help Lou, and so we got stuck in the back of the line, and of course we can barely see anything. And then we suddenly see the light getting super bright, and we go and check it out. Turns out the bridge is on fire, and then after finding out that the bridge is on fire, we find out we somehow lost the guide, and that is where we left off. All right, let's continue. Margaret paused at the bridge. Her lantern is at her side. It's her glasses. She's missing. It's her glasses she's missing. Bellow is off to the other side. Lanternless, with only the thickening ember in the wind to keep him out of the darkness. I want to pretend that they're both fine, that they'll be capable of handling themselves. But I know that it's just wishful thinking. Both of them are in danger. I don't know how the Nixie feel about fire, how daring they'll be with it so close by, but I can't assume this is an opportunity they won't want to miss. I have to do something, and I have to do something now. Oh, I heard ding ding ding. What is the ding ding ding? Is this choice happening because I have chosen Margaret a bunch? Also, did we lose the guide because I chose Eeyore? I mean, if that's the case, then I want to ditch Eeyore and get the guide back, because I want the guide. The guide seems useful. Eeyore does not. I know he has a real name, but I'm just calling him Eeyore. Without wasting another second, I run to Margaret's side, Lou in tow. I'm the one who put her in danger, and she needs me. I have to be there for her.
Margaret!
So I didn't really choose anything, I guess. I guess my actions before helped me make this choice, but I didn't have an actual option. I would have chosen her anyways. But the point is, me. Margaret's head shoots up, eyes squinting through the smoke, tears like ribbons gleam. They gleam down her face? That's an interesting way of saying it. Whether they're because of the smoke or panic, I don't know. I'm nearly at her side when a shout goes up from the other end of the bridge. Oh, I thought it was a guy. Just bit me. A chunk of the bridge near Bimile has vanished, collapsed into the water. And in the place are Nixie trying to crawl their way up Bimley. Bimley is backing away from them, but that's only pushing him closer to the edge. I check on Margaret again. She's on her feet and heading over to me. But she's standing now and she has her lantern to keep those monsters at bay. I leave her running to get my light to Bimley. Bimley stopped in the perfect center of the bridge, unable now to move forward or back. Instead, he turns to me, face pains in a way I've never seen from him. All he can do is wait for me to come and hope it's soon enough. But as I approach, so does Nixie. So does a Nyx. A Nyx larger than I knew they could be. It pulls itself halfway out of the water, reaching for Bimley, and it grabs him. It latches its arm around his torso. Bimley lets out an agonized scream. The Nyx's claws in anchoring into his flesh, and the creature lets itself fall into the lake, using its body weight to take Bimley with it. I run faster, reaching my arm, my lantern out to him. Bimley doesn't reach back. He just looks at me. I mean, this way, I hate to say this, Kika. I feel like, at that point, even if you get him away from the Nyx, or the Nyxy, pluralization, I guess, he won't make it. I don't think.
Don't!
I'm sorry, Bimley. I will promise to get all the endings unless you will live. Just not this time. No. He falls backward into the lake. The Nyx's weight too much for him to resist. After a moment, the water stills. There's no sign of him. I stop panting, still feeling away, still feet away from where Bimley fell. Tears burn my eyes.
No, he can't be gone.
Something tugs on my arm. I panic, but it's Margaret. I gape at her. I can barely keep myself together.
What happened to the guide? Is he also...
My voice cracks in spite of myself. I don't know that I want to bear the answer, but it has to be said.
No, I don't think so. I couldn't see through the smoke and without my glasses, but I didn't hear anything.
How did this happen?
While we were running through the fire, the bridge shook. It knocked my glasses off. I bent down to pick them up. There were footsteps. Someone kept going, and then Bellow asked if I was all right.
The tears return to her, and she wipes her nose on her sleeve.
He said he'd stay to keep watch while I couldn't see.
That sounds like Bellow.
I'm so sorry.
She tentatively touches my arm, wanting to help me, but not knowing how. I don't say anything in response. I can't. The bridge trembles again, and I gather my wits just enough to get through this.
We need to leave. Which way did the guide go?
It sounded like he just went forward, and then I couldn't hear him anymore.
That will work. Lou?
Lou, you better not have run away. If you have, I will kill you myself. We have too much going on. I look around for him, realizing he's not with me any longer. At some point, I let go of his arm. But there he is. I will push you in the water. I will find you. I will backtrack and push you back in. He's standing to the side, gaze glazed, transfixed on the darkness. He seems completely in awe of everything that's happened. The fire, the Nixie, the death. I step forward and yank him back to my side.
What are you doing?
Just staring out into the nothingness. No, he's just having a bit of a crisis is all. Everyone has it. I mean, you can't expect a person who was barely holding it together in the first place to be able to see all that and it's still hold it together. I mean, he wasn't really there anyways, you know? He flinches at the unexpected contact and looks attentively at me, but he doesn't offer an explanation.
I'm sorry.
That is all he ever says. I let go of him.
Both of you stay close. We are not going to separate again.
We keep down the path, the flames still gradually gnawing on the planks behind us. The guide doesn't turn up, nor do any signs of him. But we push on, we will not stop moving. Then we do. The bridge comes to a dead end. On rotted out boards collapse into the lake. A dead end of rotted out boards collapsed into the lake. For a moment, our breathing stops at once. If this was the way that led to the island, then I flip back to face the others, my expression unaffected. I'm not going to allow panic to sap this group of judgment.
Let's look for another branch.
I resolutely began tracing our path. The others follow without protest. Our regression is silent except for our footfalls, and the snapping of soggy wood. Attempting to burn. We frequently have to step over smoldering sections trying to come alight. At one point, we even have to walk a time sideways. Okay, I was like, huh? To avoid a wildly flickering small fire billowing out black smoke. Just as my spirit is beginning to dim, we come across a different direction to take. Among all the forks, there are only two that are collapsed or too consumed by fire to risk following.
We're lost.
Her voice is scarcely more than a whisper. I barely make it out over the sound of crackling flames and splintering wood. Lou's gaze is flickering down either path. There's palpable sense of anxiety coming from him.
I don't know. I don't know which way.
That's why we needed the guide.
It's all right.
But it's not all right. We have to have something to go off of. Anything at all. A cold sweat trickles down my back. A whistle! Before anyone tries to randomly choose, a noise catches my attention. I hastily address the two.
Did you hear that?
Don't ask them. Just go off of your own thing, Kika.
It sounded like a whistle.
Yes,
It came from the right.
I guess. I don't really know. And I trade looks. This could be the signal we need, but what if it isn't?
Do those monsters know how to whistle?
I don't think so.
I would assume not, but...
I mean, do they have lips?
We should go right, I think. To where the sound came from.
Listen, this is how I feel. If it's the monsters whistling, we die. If it's not the monsters whistling and we go, and if we decide to not go because we think it's the monsters whistling, we die. So I would rather feed something than just die in a burning bridge because I'm like, no. I'd rather take the chance because this is sure death. That might be death, you know? I'm a little surprised. Lou is offering his own input, his own opinion. It is good to hear, however. I take a deep breath.
I agree. There's more of a chance the whistle was a sign for good over ill.
Our course decided. We move as one down the right path, no longer hesitating. As we follow the bridge down, there is no sign of the end. There's no need to debate between direction again. We start to outpace the fire. One danger, thankfully, fading away. But the night continues to lighten. Regardless, I glance at the sky and realize what's happening. The sun is rising. The bridge will sink into the water as the darkness disappears and take us with them. We'll be lost. It suddenly seems pointless. We don't even know whether we've gone the right way, and we still haven't caught up with the guide. We can't outswim the Nixie, and we can't outrun the dawn. We're going to run out of time. We keep moving forward. Yet, we keep moving forward. Did I die? Am I dead? Did I lose already? And finally, our perseverance is rewarded. A silhouette of the island rises in the distance. The island growing rapidly larger, and soon the sense of earth and trees reach us. In spite of all the horrors of this night, a dock emerges from the fog before us, welcoming us to safety. We reach the shore. I don't believe it until I've stepped out of the wood and my boot sinks into sand. I walk further inland like a corpse. My soul instinct to flee from the water, or from the water line. My hazy eyes single in on something ahead. The guide stands on an outcropping in the distance, watching like a sentinel. He doesn't even come to greet us. I stare at him for a moment. Not even able to feel alarmed at my own lack of feeling about the situation. He uses his staff to gesture to the forest behind him before disappearing between the trees. I can only assume he must be asking me to follow. A new forest. Look how foresty and foggy. Why is everything so foggy? I would never leave my town if I lived in this area. And it's like, is it worth it? No. The guy takes us further inland, more towards the center. There's a view of the coastline from here, but we're also partially obscured by a few trees.
It's time to sleep.
Where? Just on the ground? In a tree? In a tree? Like inside of a tree? No one has the energy to argue with him at this moment. I find a place as comfortable as one could ask for in a location like this, next to one of the trees further out, and lay down, trying to block out my thoughts. Well, everyone, we survived. We did it. We survived the first half. Now we just gotta survive the second part. So, woo, halfway alive. We'll see if we can make it out alive throughout the whole game. I'm Tato Cat. If you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe. Have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon,